Hey, hey, welcome to the Breakthrough series. I am so excited to have Jayme on today and tell you, or let her tell you a little bit more about her story. The point of having these breakthrough interviews, A, it's fun, get to connect, but also I personally really want to break down the whole misconception of overnight success. I feel like so many people see other people doing amazing things in this world and think, must be nice. They're just lucky. They didn't have to work and grind behind the scenes. So we want to change that. So I'm having people on that are doing amazing things that have been in the trenches. If you're wondering who I am and you're not part of my platform, I'm Meg Church. I'm a relationship repair coach. So I help you work on your relationship with yourself and your significant other. So today, and self-sabotage, that's another big thing. I'm having Jayme on, and she is amazing. We've actually never, I don't think we've met in person.
No.
So fun. I don't really remember how we connected. I know we've been on Instagram and Facebook forever, but maybe it was organic.
Yeah, I know. I try to think back, like, when did we connect? I don't really know. I think maybe it was maybe one of your posts sharing your story, maybe that I saw or something. And I'm like, okay, I love this girl.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but I'm glad we're connected, and now you're
Yes.
on here, and I'm glad you're doing this. So I'm gonna let Jayme tell you who she is, and then we're gonna get right into the battles.
All right. Thank you, Meg. I was super honored for you to even ask me to do this. So thank you. All right. So my name is Jayme Thompson. I am a coach wife. My husband is a high school basketball coach, and I am a mom of three. My oldest baby girl is 18, which just blows my mind. She's a senior. And then I have two boys who are 13 and 7. I love Jesus. And I guess I give myself the title of a lifestyle coach, but I've been with my network marketing company for 10 years now.
And you kill it. Let's just say you kill it. She kills it.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I also like to add, because people, I think, always want to know, like, how in the world do you even get started in that? I mean, it wasn't anything I was looking for. I'll tell you that. I would not in a million years would I think I would be where I am right now in life at all. I was a third grade teacher. I had two kids at the time. And so this kind of goes into, I guess, my struggles of how in the world I even got there. My struggles can go back to, I think anybody that tells you about where their struggles come from, you hear a lot of it does come back to childhood. Yep. My parents divorced. I was young. I was the oldest of three. I was in first grade, and it was ugly. It was not good. And I can think back to, like, when my struggles with food and confidence and feeling worthy, and I guess a lot of the abandonment issues, that all basically started in those years. So I look back to my issues with weight, confidence, all that comes back down to I battled with food. I guess you could say I definitely had a food addiction. It was what I turned to for anything. I always say it was my best friend, and it was my worst enemy. It was what I always had as my comfort. Like, it was not the thing that was ever going to leave me. So I battled. Thank goodness I was an athlete growing up. It kept me, fairly active, but that was always there. After graduating and going to college, then it really got to the point where it's really out of control. Then you add on having a baby. I was in my last year of college. I was getting ready to do my student teaching, and I was in a not good relationship, not good. But again, you go back to never feeling worthy, fear of abandonment. So I never got away. But I tell her all the time, my daughter, that having her, like, she saved me. That was like my eye-opening. You do not want to bring a baby into a world where we could live. So I was done, and I took on raising her, and I finished my student teaching, but I gained 70 pounds in that pregnancy. I was already at a really not healthy weight, not a healthy mindset, nothing. There was basically nothing healthy going on in my life at that point. But it was a few months in where I realized, oh, gosh, I mean, I need to figure something out here, which turned into let's do anything and everything not good for you to try to lose weight. So the cycle just continued. I was doing all of the pills. I was doing let's try every diet under the sun to lose weight. And as we know, with none of that is going to last because I was not working on anything going on in my head, nothing. And that just kind of spiraled and continued. Thank goodness I was working. My daughter was a little over a year when I met my husband. And so we started dating, and he loved me and loved her and took us both in, and we ended up getting married. And then, of course, here comes first pregnancy after that. But I always say, I mean, I was in a better place. I kind of started getting into the fitness side of things, but not nutrition. That was never, I was still hiding the fact that, and I was hiding from him. I was hiding from him that late at night, I could go in and demolish the pantry. I was self-sabotaging myself any chance I got. So it was just a constant battle for me. It wasn't until my second child, my son, was 3 years old that I was introduced to Beachbody, and I had been doing some of the programs and had no idea that there was even any part of like people could help you. I didn't know that. As an introvert, I was not going to go to a gym. I was not going to reach out to someone to help me. It literally took somebody connecting and inviting me, to even want to look into that option. And it was online, so I didn't have to that worked for me. That worked for the major introvert. I was teaching third grade at the time. We were busy. My husband was super busy, and I got started. I got into the first time in my life, like making a routine of going down to my basement. Well, actually, we were in our first house then. Small house. People always see like my home gym now. They think, oh, I don't have that. I'm like, I started in like this much space in my teeny tiny house with a baby running under my legs. Like I knew I needed to do something for me. And I started there and started slowly understanding nutrition better, kind of putting pieces together. Then I started realizing, wow, I had a lot of things going on that were making me have this struggle, and kind of started realizing, growing up, the things I would hear, the things I would see my mom, my aunts, my family doing, and you don't realize then what impact that makes on you and what you think, as you're growing up and the choices that you're making and doing. I started kind of putting all those pieces together, and I just continued, and I got to the point I like to say I was probably the healthiest I've ever been in my life. Maybe definitely not mentally the strongest. I wasn't there yet. And then we get pregnant with baby number 3. So I deal with the whole, oh gosh, I'm gonna battle this again, because even second baby, I gained 65. So I had that fear that it come on me. I'm going to gain all this. How am I going to lose this again? But that was kind of where when I decided I wanted to help other people, when people started coming to me asking, what are you doing? I got kind of addicted to that. Wow, I love sharing this with other people. I love helping other people. I didn't know I had that, even a desire for health and fitness of any kind, or even like helping people, but I got into that. But that was kind of my changing point in my business, that I was like, I want to help other women understand we all struggle, we all have our things. And I just literally shared every part of my pregnancy out for the world to see. That was terrifying, but that was like the shift. That was like a big shift in my business, helped me really find my people and kind of helped me. It was like turning all of that pain, all that struggle, everything, and kind of using it to heal myself by sharing it and putting it out there. Okay, so at that point, that was really my big change. I was having another baby, and I realized I loved teaching, but I no longer loved the stress of all of that comes along with it, or the not so great pay. And that's kind of when I really shifted my mindset and really shifted the things I needed to get over that hump of realizing I could do this. I could totally change my path of where I thought I was going and take another path, even though everybody told me I was crazy and everybody couldn't believe I'm walking away and family members ignored me and all the things. I just had to get to a point where this is what I wanted. And I knew that I knew God put this all in front of me for a reason. And so I just kind of took the vehicle I had and I started driving it, and I never stopped. So yeah, that's kind of where that was a lot. Sorry, that was a lot.
No, I love listening to it. I think people need to hear that though, because when you're battling something and you're truly, like I said earlier, like you're in the trenches, sometimes you ask, why me, God? Why are you putting all this on me? Can't you make it stop, make it go away? But then you learn, and sometimes it's painful, that that's part of your purpose. Maybe that pain that you're enduring and that resilience that you're gaining is to then reach so many more women than just you. And I mean, it's not ironic that when you started sharing the painful parts of your last pregnancy and with postpartum and weight gain and emotions and motherhood and all that, people connected with you because it wasn't perfect. It wasn't trying to be something that you weren't. You were being real, you were being authentic, and then people started flocking to you.
Absolutely. I say that. And I know that's always the scariest thing for people too. Anytime anybody's in anything where you've got to kind of live out loud is knocking down like the whole perfection wall. Like there is no perfection, none. And people aren't going to connect with that. They don't want to see the perfectness. They don't. They want to know you're a human and you have struggles and you have overcome them. They want to know what did you do to overcome that? So I just.
And I know with you, because you had shared this stuff with me as well, and you've been open about it as far as having the struggles with food, and especially when you have dealt with things in your past. Well, you endured things in your past, but you may not have dealt with the root of those things yet. It's an easy thing to use food as a numbing mechanism, as a way to binge, to escape, to hide. And I mean, you might be able to dive in a little bit deeper than this, but I've always said, I truly believe this, that there's something completely different between emotional eating and a full-on binge. A binge is something that it literally takes over you. It's like, I always feel like it's like the Tasmanian devil, like going through, and then you wake up and you're like, what just happened? How is this all gone? Why? Like, there's no way a normal human being could consume this and not feel pain. And then to add on the other element, I know this is very, very common, especially with women, of hiding it from your husband, hiding it from your kids, hiding it, not buying the things, but then going out and getting the things, or hiding your, like it's almost like like you said, an addict. And I believe that some people are addicts. And I also believe it's just something you have to deal with. I don't feel like it's necessarily an addiction, but it becomes embarrassing and shameful. And you're like, why me? So how did you bring that up to your hubby. How did you talk about that? Because it is a lot of people who've never been there thinks it's insane. They're like, it's just food. Like, just eat less, go work out more. It's just food. And it's not that. Not when you struggle.
No. Oh gosh, no. I think I remember because I knew after baby 3, like having all that weight on again and knowing I'm starting kind of over, I knew it would be real easy to go back to that. And he knew, like, I had the programs. I understood nutrition better. I knew my body better. I knew what worked for me. But, having those struggles, I knew I couldn't do it alone this time. Like, I remember telling him, I'm really going to need you because I struggle with this. And they know now it's almost kind of like one of those things that everybody knows that was something I struggled with. And, I will have my moments. It's not binging anymore. I don't do that. But, I like food. I like food. But now my daughter's old enough and she'll be like, did you eat all that? Yes, I did. It was good. It's okay. So, I have made like strides and not hiding that. That was a part of something I went through because of things I struggled with in my past, and dove into tons of, anybody that talked on that topic of how to overcome those things. Like, why was I turning to food all the time? What was missing in my life? I think that's also where my faith journey kicked in, and I understood, there's so many things that are missing, and that was what was missing in my life. It wasn't there, and that's when another huge change happened. So filled in the gap with what was supposed to be there, and it was Jesus. He was missing, and helped me to overcome those struggles with that.
Well, and I think that's a huge example right there of how you were able to start breaking up with the bully, is like what I like to call it. So a lot of times we think that other people have bullied us, or everything we've dealt with is why we are the way we are, which is true until you finally take the reins back and you say, you know what, it doesn't have to be this way anymore. I can break this cycle. I can get off of this insanity cycle, trying to reach perfection, or keep up with this, or compare myself to that, or have shame around this, and just start to own it. So how did you start to break up with that bully, realizing it wasn't the outer people, it was inside here? Because you mentioned that, like, a lot of people don't get this. So I really want to make this clear. Just like you said, this is how it was for me too. It started with the physical, because we thought the physical was going to be our savior.
Yes.
We thought if we get to a size 2, if we get this and that, then we're going to be loved. Then we're going to find the man. Then we're going to have a better relationship with our kids, and our career, whatever. Then it's always then.
Yeah.
So how did you break up with that?
It was a daily focus, creating a routine that made me every single morning start with putting myself in a good frame of mind and focusing on being better. So affirmations, I dove into devotionals, I dove into any podcast that was helping me to just stay positive and focused on being better and getting over the things like that. Anything that would talk about that topic too, that was huge for me. Understanding that there was nobody in my way. It was myself all the time, that I had to kick that, and the fear, like kicking that fear of whatever in the world was going on in my head, letting go of the shame, letting go of the guilt, letting go of all of those things. Like, that is a process. It is a definite process. I think also being in the position where I was reaching out and continuing to help other women, gosh, that just helps me heal. I say all the time, I help you, but honestly, helping you helps me. Yep. It's like my daily therapy. I get to constantly be on that path of, I want to be better. And now my kids are older, and they hear the things I say, they see the things I do, and you realize, like, now having my daughters older, like, not ever preaching to her, just being the example and seeing that, like, she's starting to do things, and it's like so nice to know, like, she's got all these things kind of ready to go as she leaves us soon. That just, I think, gosh, she was literally 8 years old when I started making a change in my life. And I think, gosh, what if I didn't? What if I didn't start and say yes to doing something for myself like this? It's crazy when you think back like that. But yeah, it's kind of like passing that on now to your kids and kind of breaking that cycle of,
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, something that I just thought about too, and I would love to have, I'll fill you in on this later, but we're going to have a series of couples that do like entrepreneurial type of stuff, and godly couples that have worked through challenges and stuff. So I'll have to have you guys on later. But I want you to think about this and kind of talk about this more, because I know this is a struggle for people. A lot of women, their family's everything, as it should be. Your family is everything. However, it's always your taking care of yourself gets put on the back burner. And beyond just talking about what that life actually looks like, I want to talk about it from a relationship standpoint, and how when you kind of took care of yourself on the outside, but really you were still struggling and maybe not taking care of like the mental aspect, how that affected your marriage then compared to how it is now, where you've taken care of yourself, you're feeding yourself mentally, spiritually, physically, and how that's brought you guys closer together. Whereas a lot of times people think that that's going to take you away from your family.
Right.
Kind of dig it. I know that that's something you're really passionate about too. So I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, even when I started kind of working on myself physically, he wasn't there yet. So I did kind of start at the beginning kind of on my own, but he was watching. So I always say, but he's the one that I watched on the faith side.
Yep.
He's who got me there to take that step and to dive in. And, he was definitely the man of our home that was getting us to get up and get to church and really start that. Whereas I didn't grow up that way. So it was really hard for me and to kind of get into that. But, I always say it did start with me physically working on myself. Then that mentally started. Gosh, it definitely changed our marriage for sure. It's made us definitely more stronger together. I mean, we connect so much better on just things going on in life when we both are working on ourselves physically, mentally, spiritually, all of it. In the beginning, we probably argued about just silly, dumb stuff because I wasn't mentally strong at all and still battled so much with my issues of the past that I brought it into our marriage. Whereas when I started to work on getting over and understanding why I did things I did, or why I said things I said, that all streamed back. It also helped him understand, like, he didn't grow up the same way, as I did. He had two parents that were, married, still together. He didn't grow up like I did. No, financial issues or, any of that. So it helped him kind of understand a little bit more of, okay, why I feel the way I do about things, or why I do things a certain way I do. But yeah, we became much more united and a better team, and understanding, what's best for our whole family and our kids, and being on the same page with things. Now, granted, no marriage is perfect. No marriage is perfect. But it definitely helps when you are both working
Yep.
to be better. It makes it all better.
Well, and I think also, I mean, just from being parents, being able to be more present. That's another thing. It's like when you have filled up your own cup, just like put on your own mask, then you show up more. And it's not even, again, there's no perfect parent. It's showing up and making your family the best that it can be. And when your kids see you guys having a great relationship, then it's going to trickle down onto your kids.
Right.
And the same things that you've struggled with and you continue to work on and heal from, you're going to prevent that from being passed on, which is like the coolest gift. You know, we're thinking about the Christmas season that you can give to your kids is taking care of you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Best gift I think you can give your family is to take care of yourself. So, I mean, I say it all the time. I'm happier. I know I am better in all areas because I chose to not just physically work on myself, but I understood everything about me being better had to start within.
Yep.
All of that inner work was the biggest part of getting where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
And still work on it constantly. Every day.
So who like if, okay, I guess I'm going to ask this in a little bit different way because I feel like it makes you pause and see yourself with a new lens. But who have you become? Because becoming is an ongoing thing. But who have you become now, and who are you becoming?
I who have I become? Wow, I think hitting 40 and realizing, gosh, I don't care what anybody thinks anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's such an awesome feeling to be there. And because I know early on, yeah, I mean you fit in this like little like, oh gosh, okay, I want everybody to like want to support me and I want everybody to want to do this with me and I want to help everyone. I hope everybody likes what I'm sharing and doing, to breaking away from that and starting to really share who you are and what you really believe in and what you know, and letting go of, no, not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to support you. And being okay with that. And it allows you to really find your people, really find your tribe of people, because you no longer try to fit in this little, I want everybody to like me bubble. So I think I finally kind of became that confident person that no longer allows any of that to get in the way. And being okay that that's just the way it is. I mean, I definitely grew some serious thick skin in this, definitely. So yeah, that's.
Well, and I think what you basically were saying, like you had to give up people pleasing. And that is hard work. That is so hard. And it's like an ongoing thing. Like you were saying this earlier, when you start to show up and be real and authentic, that triggers people. It triggers people because then they're going to have a mirror to see what they need to work on. Maybe they're not ready to work on that yet. So then they want to judge you or put you down. And I know you've experienced all those things.
All the things.
Even, you know, friends, family, people that potentially you worked with, or just people judging something that they haven't been along for the whole journey. And so I think that that's something important to remember, that because you do stuff that's different and off the beaten path in this world, it's going to happen. And I have to remind myself of that too, because sometimes I'm like, oh, why am I not doing this? Well, because you're scared of rejection. You're scared of not being connected. You're scared of, you know, and it's like you can have boundaries around the people pleasing, but that can still come up. So
for sure,
people that feel that, it might have to be like a mantra that you play in your head.
Yeah.
So with right now, clearly I have a Christmas tree in the background, so people know that this is holiday week, Christmas week. We're getting ready for a new year, 2021. Peace out 2020.
Oh,
I
definitely.
want people to connect with Jayme, who resonated with her story, who resonated with her and her infectious energy and personality. Is there anything that you want to gift them or lead them to, or just help connect with? It would be
Yeah,
helpful.
for sure. I share a lot of my behind the scenes, I guess, on my Instagram stories. That's definitely where I probably live on social media. So my Instagram is Jayme Thompson 20. You can find me there. And my new addiction is now TikTok.
We were talking about that earlier, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that, but she's inspiring me, guys.
It's fun. It's a fun outlet. It allows you to kind of be creative, and I enjoy that part of my job. So it's been a fun place to just connect with other women that just get me and have more community and meet more women who you find out as you make connections and you share more of your story. You find people who, gosh, they don't realize, wow, maybe I need to look into something like that to start making changes. Most women just don't know where to start. And I like giving them that path. Like, here's a place I started. It got me to where I am now, but I just had to start.
Yeah. Well, awesome, guys. Go check her out. She's awesome. Hopefully you got to feel some of her energy. And Jayme, I'm so grateful that you wanted to do this. I'm glad that you got to share some of your story, and maybe some of the people that know you maybe learned something new today that you shared that maybe you haven't openly shared. That's my hope too. So thank you so much.
Thank you. You were awesome as well.
Well, thank you. Thank you, guys. We will talk to you next time. Bye.